Hello, all of you. This is the last lecture of chapter oscillation. Till this lecture, we have studied about the various important things. We have started with various types of motions and their examples, and slightly we go towards the simple harmonic motion, periodic motion, reference circle method. Very important concepts of time period, simple pendulum, conical pendulum, seconds pendulum, all this study we have done. So in this lecture we will start with the new topic, that is we will start with the angular oscillation or angular simple harmonic motion. Till last lecture we have studied about the linear simple harmonic motion. In this we will study about the angular simple harmonic motion. Now let's start. When a body is allowed to rotate freely about a given axis, then the oscillation is known as the angular oscillation. Now just observe this diagram. You can see in this diagram one disc is hanged, or it is like suspended to the rigid support with the help of a fiber. Okay, and this disc is rotated. Okay, so it is allowed to rotate, and as you can see, at theta is the mean position. If we suppose, it will rotate by positive amplitude as well as the negative amplitude, which is denoted by theta max and theta minimum. So a body, that is disk, is allowed to rotate freely about an axis. Let's calculate the time period and frequency for angular simple harmonic motion. Just now we have seen one disk which is allowed to rotate at a fixed axis, and theta is the angular displacement if we see. So we can say that we can say that displacement as the amplitude. The point at which the resultant torque acting on a body is taken to be zero is called as mean position. If the body is displaced from the mean position, the resultant torque acts such that it is proportional to the angular displacement, that is theta. And this torque has a tendency to bring the body towards the mean position. Now just assume that theta be the angular displacement of that particular disk, and tau is the resultant torque. Okay, so tau is torque and theta is angular displacement. Now this tau can be written as tau is equals to minus k theta, and k is the proportionality constant. Now this negative sign indicates that this torque and angular displacement, they are opposite in direction. And k is the restoring torsion constant. Just now we have observed in the last lecture, we have studied about the simple harmonic motion. In that, F is directly proportional to X. That means here that F is nothing but torque, and X, in that X is the simple displacement, and here theta is the angular displacement. If I is the moment of inertia of the body and alpha is the angular acceleration. Now this alpha is angular acceleration. Now see, here angular acceleration, angular displacement, instead of force there is torque. Why this is so? Because this is about the angular simple harmonic motion we are talking about. That's why we have considered here the moment of inertia. Now this moment of inertia, why it is so? Because this is the disk what we have considered for the angular simple harmonic motion. Now in that, this alpha is the angular acceleration. So we can simply write tau is equals to moment of inertia, that is I, into angular acceleration, which is nothing but minus k theta. Now this alpha means angular acceleration, and it can also be written in the form of displacement, preferably the angular displacement. So double derivative of angular displacement is angular acceleration. Okay, so d2 theta by dt square is equals to minus k by I theta, because I alpha is equals to minus k theta. So that's why we have written over here d2 theta by dt square is equals to minus ki theta. So this is differential equation resembles to the simple harmonic differential equation. If you can remember that equation, okay, so that differential equation is nothing but the, in that differential equation we have considered that omega square is equals to k by m. So here with that, if we compare that equation with the simple harmonic differential equation, that omega is equals to square root of k by I. But in simple harmonic motion, means in linear simple harmonic motion, omega is equals to under square root of k by m was there, but here it is k by I. So this is the difference. The frequency of angular harmonic motion, frequency can be written as 1 by 2 pi square root of k by I. And if we take the reciprocal of frequency, we will get t is equals to 2 pi square root of I by k. So this is the time period for a body performing angular simple harmonic motion. So let's define it. Angular simple harmonic motion is defined as the oscillatory motion of a body in which the torque of angular acceleration, torque for angular acceleration is directly proportional to the angular displacement, and its direction is opposite to that of angular displacement. Now let's see a comparison of simple harmonic motion and angular simple harmonic motion. So the points are given over here. The displacement of particle is measured in terms of linear displacement. So it can be written in the form of r, or it can be denoted by x, whatever will be the symbol. R and x, they are used for representing the linear displacement, but in case of angular harmonic motion, the displacement is denoted by theta because it is angular displacement. Okay, it is known as angle of twist. Now suppose you assume the disc when rotated, so it will not rotate completely, it will rotate by some angle only. Okay, you just imagine, or you can do practical on your actually in your home, so that you can get idea about this rotation. Acceleration of particle will be a is equals to minus omega square r, and angular acceleration is alpha is equals to minus omega square theta. Force is given here, and F is equals to mass into acceleration, and here tau is equals to I into acceleration. But acceleration is, it is angular acceleration, I is inertia. So restoring force is responsible here, and here K is responsible. Okay, so this is not just a simple K, so it is Greek alphabet pronounced as kappa. It's called as restoring torsion. So here we can use the word for K is restoring force constant in terms of SHM, but in terms of AHM, it is called as restoring torsion constant. And after that, angular frequency formula is k square root of k by m, and angular frequency omega is equals to square root of k by I. So this is just a simple table over here. Now one important topic is here about magnet vibrating in uniform magnetic field. So just imagine one magnet is there and the uniform magnetic field, that is B. So magnetic strength is B over here. So this is the magnetic uniform magnetic field. So this bar magnet is freely suspended in a plane of uniform magnetic field. It remains in equilibrium with its axis parallel to the direction of the field. Just now you can see over here a magnet is there having north and south pole, and the pole strength can be written as Qm, and the another pole strength is minus Qm. Okay, so pole strength and the magnetic field, it is there, and 2L is the magnetic length, and theta is the angle made with the magnetic field. Now if it is given a small angular displacement theta about an axis passing through its center perpendicular to itself and to the field, and it released, it perform angular oscillation. So in the uniform magnetic field, this freely suspended magnet will perform angular oscillation with the theta as angle. Now let mu be the magnetic dipole moment and B be the magnetic field. In the deflected position, a restoring torque acts on the magnet. Obviously, with, because of this pole strength are equal in magnitude, but like they are opposite. So this torque will act on the magnet and it will tend to bring it back in its equilibrium position. Here we use the symbol mu for the magnetic dipole moment, as the symbol m is used for the mass. So this magnitude of this torque can be written as mu b sine theta. Now why this tau we have written over here? Simply if we use the mass the symbol m, we will write it as mb sine theta, but here we have used the mu for the magnetic dipole. Now you know what is meant by torque. Torque is the product of the pole strength of any one of the pole. Okay, so mu b we have taken here, and sine theta, theta is the angle made, and theta is small, so we will just simply write tau is equals to mu b theta. For clockwise angular displacement theta, the restoring torque is in the anti-clockwise direction. Now this tau is equals to I alpha, and it is equal to minus mu b theta. So this I is the moment of inertia of the bar magnet, and alpha is its angular acceleration. So alpha is equals to minus mu b upon I into theta. Now here mu, beta, I are constant, shows that angular acceleration is directly proportional to the angular displacement and directed opposite to angular displacement. Hence, the magnet performs angular simple harmonic motion. The period of the vibrations of the magnet is given by T is equals to 2 pi square root of angular acceleration per unit angular displacement. So, T is equals to 2 pi square root of I upon mu B. So what we have done here, we have just put up the values. Let's solve one numerical. A bar magnet of mass 120 gram in the form of rectangular parallelopiped has Dimension: length 40 millimeter, breadth 10 millimeter, and height 80 millimeter. With the dimension h vertical to the magnet, performs angular oscillation in the plane of magnetic field with the period pi second, and if its magnetic moment is 3.4 ampere meter square, determine the influencing magnetic field. So we know that T is the time period for a body performing angular simple harmonic motion is 2 pi I square root of I by mu b. So b can be written as 4I by mu. So for a bar magnet, the moment of inertia can be written as I is equals to m in bracket L square plus b square by 12. So this is just a standard formula we know for bar magnet. Okay, so we will get the pole strength or the magnetic field strength. Okay, so our magnetic field strength is 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 Weber meter per meter square. Actually it is meters minus 2 लिखा है, or Tesla. Okay, so this is the numerical. This is another numerical. Two magnets with the same dimension. Now this kind of numerical is very easy to solve. Just we have to take what are the same things are given, so that we can cancel them. Like two magnets with same dimension or and mass, but the magnetic moments like mu1 and mu2 are given, are jointly suspended in the earth's magnetic field so as to perform the angular oscillations in horizontal plane. When their like poles are joined together, the period of their angular acceleration, okay, sorry, angular SHM is 5 seconds. Find the period of angular SHM when their unlike poles are joined. Now T is given with like pole together, the effective magnetic moment is the sum of both. So we will just write it as simply writing, instead of simply writing mu, we will write mu1 plus mu2. With the unlike poles together, it will be mu1 minus mu2. So we easily got this kind of ratio, because rest of the things will get cancelled, because all the things get like equal. So t1 by t2, and t2 is also we know in the second condition. Then t2 can be written as 8.665 second. Let's discuss about the damped oscillation. Now these are damped oscillations, is very easy concept to understand. If the amplitude of oscillations of an oscillator is reduced by the application of external force, the oscillator and its motion are said to be damped. Now in this picture I shown you a parent is swinging his kid, and so that what actually he is pushing the swing and he is also stopping, like he is performing and he is applying some external force to stop or to minimize the speed of the swing. Okay, so if the amplitude, now here we will say that the amplitude of oscillation, swinging is the motion, like it is oscillation because it is going to and fro, and the distance covered by the swing can be called as amplitude. So this if the amplitude of oscillation of a oscillator is reduced by the application of an external force, the oscillator and its motion are said to be damped oscillation. Periodic oscillations of gradually decreasing amplitude are called as damped harmonic oscillation, and the oscillator is called a damped harmonic oscillator. So I hope you understood this damped oscillation. Very easy concept it is. Damping is a process whereby energy is taken from the vibrating system and is being absorbed by the surrounding. For example, internal forces on a spring, viscous fluid in a fluid, electromagnetic damping in galvanometer, and shock absorber in a car. So these are some damping process. Oscillation with friction. In real world, dissipative forces such as friction between a block and a table exist. Such a dissipative force will decrease the amplitude of an oscillation. The friction reduces the mechanical energy of the system as time passes, and the motion is said to be damped. Now here in this case you can see a brake system or shock, actually it's a shock absorber in the vehicle or in the car, and one graph is shown over here. Amplitude gets decreases with the increase in time. That means the energy from oscillation gets absorbed by the surrounding with respect to time. For example, the motion of simple pendulum dies eventually as air exits the viscous force on the pendulum, and there may be some friction at the support. Shows a block of mass m that can oscillate vertically on a spring. So you can see this is the one kind of damped oscillator. From the block, a rod extends to vane that is submerged on a liquid. As the vane moves up and down, the liquid exerts a drag force on it and thus on the complete oscillating system. The mechanical energy of the block spring system decreases with time as energy is transferred to thermal energy of the liquid and vane. The damping force Fd depends on the nature of the surrounding medium and it's directly proportional to the speed v of the vane and the block. So Fd is directly proportional to v, that is the speed of vane. B is the damping constant and negative sign indicates that Ft opposes the velocity. Means the damping force opposes the velocity and the speed of the spring gate decreases. For spring constant K, the force on the block from the spring is Fs is equals to minus Kx. So assuming that the gravitational force on the block is negligible compared to Fd and Fs, the total force acting on the mass at any time t is F is equals to the sum of damping force and the spring force. So F is mass into acceleration and Fd is minus bv and Fs is minus kx. Ma plus bv plus ks is equals to 0. So m into a means double derivative of displacement, v means derivative of displacement. So this is the solution describes the motion of block under the influence of damping force which is proportional to the speed. Now this is displacement. If we draw a graph of displacement versus time, what will happen? This kind of damping can be seen in the graph also. So this displacement against time, the amplitude decreases with time exponentially. So that is the term cos omega dash t plus phi shows the motion is still an simple harmonic motion and the angular frequency is given and the period of oscillation can be calculated with the help of this formula. The damping increases the period, slows down the motion and decreases the amplitude. Let's see about the free oscillation and forced oscillation. The name itself suggests that the oscillations not the free oscillator means no opposition is there, So if an oscillator is displayed and then released, it will begin to vibrate. If no more external force are applied to the system, is a free oscillator. Simple pendulum is displaced and then left free, can be called as a simple oscillator. If a force is continuously or repeatedly applied to keep the oscillation going, it is called as forced oscillation. So loudspeakers vibrate in response to oscillating electric signal. Washing machine pushing a child on a swing can be called as a forced oscillations. A freely oscillating object oscillates with the constant amplitude. The total of potential and kinetic energy of the object will remain constant. This occurs when there are no frictional forces acting on the object such as air resistance. So this is how we have completed this lecture with the free oscillation, force oscillation. We have seen damp oscillations also, and the important derivation we have seen here, that is the bar magnet in uniform magnetic field. So this way we have completed the chapter oscillation. We'll meet in the next video with new chapter and new important things. Till then, goodbye and take care.